Alright guys, before today's episode, just a quick reminder that we are on Patreon. For as little as £3 a month, you can sign up and get access to an extra episode every 2 weeks, plus bonus content from all our previous live shows. Isn't that right, guys?
Absolutely correct, 100%.
100.
You can get all the live shows, Pavilion, London Podcast Festival, Glee,
Stand.
the little documentary we done at the Fringe last year.
Monkey
Live
Bar.
film
Stand,
shows.
live there's
There's hundreds of
countless
stuff, isn't there?
countless
Over
stuff.
30 hours
I've lost count.
of extra content.
6 or 7 maybe.
And first dibs on upcoming live show tickets, both stand-up shows and some live shows themselves. So get over there.
Talking through the burps there,
So good.
James.
Yeah, it's just
Really struggling,
that
really
Greg's
struggling
coffee
there.
has kicked in there. The acid reflux. Thank you very much for that. But that's where you can find all that stuff, guys. Please enjoy today's episode as well, and enjoy.
Thank you very much. Enjoy.
You're gonna love it.
Welcome to the Some Laugh podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Well, no promising all laugh.
No,
it's
there's going to be some.
some laugh.
I'm going to have to do the heavy lifting then, use her all knackered.
Can't have
No,
this on
Steve's
camera,
just
seeing
turned
a
up. He
girl
should-
making
he's-
us all hot drinks and then leaving. It doesn't look good, man. Thank you.
Finally.
Now we all feel like Bernard Manning.
Should I put that in one of your mugs?
No,
branding.
You can do if you want.
I don't know if I think we've only got two though, don't we?
No, well, I've got some in
You
the
ain't
car.
going
I'm
to
going to
get in
give you.
trouble if they see the iced tea. You're not going to get Lipton coming out.
No, I want them coming.
Well, we've been
brand
trying
deals.
to. We've had Iron Brew in like almost every episode for about 100 of them,
have
and
you?
we've still not got a sponsorship. Maybe because we're giving them free advertising,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Also, how much more advertisement do they need in Scotland?
No, they don't.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
You
We
know,
need
I
a brand
looked
that
I'm not-
we love that are unknown, so as we can like Fetch Eyewear have just given me these glasses.
for-
we should.
Were they a gift?
Yeah, yeah.
Do they do
Hashtag
sunglasses?
gifted. I've just literally just picked them up.
Oh, well done. They're nice. They're
are
quite.
nice,
They're old ladyish, but in like the new, like the new fashion.
You look like an art critic.
Well,
Yeah.
in many ways, I am.
Of course.
Josh, I seen your show the other night, and I've got to tell you, I loved it, darling. How are you keeping, Josh?
Are we started?
Yes.
Oh, right.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm all right.
I've
This
been rolling
is,
since I picked you up outside.
this has been. Are we allowed to say that we're at the Fringe?
Oh, yeah.
Or do we just pretend it's a normal week?
Yes,
It's
Might go out in
always
December.
because we're not in the studio.
Okay, right. Yeah, it's all right. I'm pretty chill this year. Just having a nice time. Been eating quite well. Just having a lovely day every day. Really. I've not been going out. I've got a puzzle on the go.
You said this. How many pieces is it?
1,000. I'm still not done the frame bit. It's been 3 days. I've put like 8 pieces together.
Is 1,000 good in the puzzle community?
I'm
not familiar with
so
puzzles.
I did a
What's the age
a
range?
500 one a couple of years ago. That took me 2 weeks. I don't know how long, and that was Hocus Pocus as well.
Oh yeah.
And I think it was for kids, so it was quite easy. And then I started watching things on YouTube of competitive puzzlers, right?
Wow.
So like hundreds of puzzlers competing against each other, and I found it riveting.
I've seen some of these clips. They're quite good.
Yeah, and then I told my boyfriend that, and then I think he thinks I wanted to get involved. So he's got me 1,000 pieces. But it's a Bridgerton one, and like that's just so too colourful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like the smaller the pieces, the harder
Harder
it
to
gets?
figure it
'Cause
out, yeah.
My niece had a Peppa Pig one, and the pieces were like this size. And it
Yeah,
was like
I should have
6
started with that really, but I'm 31.
Also, if you get 1,000-piece jigsaw, but they're all massive, it's going to take up your whole house.
yeah, yeah.
Well, that's the thing, because it's not my house. I'm sharing with 3 other comics while we're here. Then I'm like, oh God, I've took over the whole dining table.
And you've not even like completed it as well. Fair enough if you'd done.
But
a good
I
job.
asked them to jump in and get involved. I thought, like, my boyfriend thought it'd be a really nice de-stressor while I was here. He I don't think he doesn't really understand anything about comedy, really. So like when I was explaining the Fringe, he gave me like loads of board games. He's like, you can play board games with your friends. I was like, they're all gonna be off the tits crying in the street. I don't think you know what's going on, but it's lovely.
It's what one more challenge. It sounds like is not the thing that we need, is it? You know?
Yeah, well, I do want to have a board game night, but I don't know if anyone will come.
I'd go to
go.
that.
Yeah.
Board games. What have you got?
I brought one that I used to play. This is a card game that I played at uni called Coup. Because I used to live with a bunch of nerds at uni, and they were all like really nerdy gamers and Dungeons and Dragons, but they were all Viking reenactors as well.
Wow.
So I live with a bunch of Viking reenactors.
How did you end up with them?
I just hung out with them and thought they were dead fun. We kind of, one of them came. So a load of us failed our first year of uni because we was out every time. Like, I don't do drugs anymore, but I was on acid like all the time through like the first year of uni, and I did an exam tripping balls. So then I had to get an extra year of student loan and do another year of uni.
What were you
But
doing
a
at
load
uni?
of performing arts. Yeah, so I failed. Do I know the most embarrassing thing? I don't like saying it because it is embarrassing. It was a comedy writing and performance course, and I failed the first year. But it was because I was on drugs, so I think that's fine. But then I quit drugs at uni, and then I got a first, so there we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Rest
And
is
then,
history.
did you get a best newcomer nomination when you came to Edinburgh first time? Did you?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, that's bit. You know, you might have failed first year of fucking
I know, but
comedy and writing,
I didn't win, so the money would have covered that extra year of student loan. But yeah, so yeah, and then I got, then this student loan started doing a fucking master's money as well, and I thought I want some of that free money. So I did a master's degree, dropped out in like November, but just kept getting the free money. So now I've got 5 years of student loan and a comedy degree. That's so embarrassing.
What was the masters in?
Comedy review, theatre reviewing, but I kept. You had to go to the theatre every week, and I kept missing it because I was gigging by that point.
Right.
So she said you had to choose between gigging and thing, and I was only doing the masters so I didn't have to work in a part-time job as many hours. Do you know what I mean?
So you had to just review your own gigs.
Yeah, it was like a reviewing and performance thing.
Aye.
It's weird to do both, is it not?
Yeah, I don't know what the course was. My friend, we just graduated uni. Both of us were like baby stand-ups, and we wanted free money. Well, now it's not free because I'm paying it back.
Of course.
But like at the time, you never think you're going to be paying it back. And then also you're like, well, when you be paying it back, you'll be living the dream. And now you're living the dream. Like, I wish I had a better dream. So yeah.
Where did you study that? Was it in Manchester?
The masters was I went to Roehampton. So I lived in London the last couple of years, moved back to Manchester. But when I first started comedy, I think it was I started in 2015. I think 2016 we did this master's degree in London. And I only lasted like 3 months, but we were we had no money that me and my friend, we found a flat on Gumtree, and we could only pay our rent in cash, and we shared a bedroom. It was 2 single beds in one room, but we were just like, do you know when you new comics, you just like, you don't give a fuck, do you? You just do anything. And so yeah, and I just thought I can't live like this because my bed fell through my single bed frame. So for the full month, I had like just a bar around me every time I went to bed, and like I was sharing a room, and I was just like, this is depressing, and yeah, it was awful. And also, I set the toaster on fire, and I thought I need to get out of it. So,
How did you set the toaster on fire? Just keep it on too long, or?
no, I pissed, and I kept putting. My friend had those. Do you know those like Rivy skinny girl cracker thing? So I put them in the toaster.
This episode is actually brought to you by them.
It just goes up.
Yeah, it went on fire. So I threw it out the window.
The whole toaster.
Yeah, I plugged it and threw it out the window. It was
Like
crazy.
you're in the Rolling Stones or something.
But we were on the ground floor, so it was fine.
Did it not burn your hands? Picking up a
No, it was like right near the window, so I just like,
Ah, right, okay.
How did he die? He was hit with a flaming toast.
Ways ago.
Fuck me, man. But and then so you moved back to Manchester after that.
So I moved back to Manchester then was in Manchester for years. And then, you know, you get told when you start doing all right, you need to go to London. So then did 2 years in London, but now I'm back in Manchester.
Yeah. Because I remember we were talking about this the other night. Because I remember like being down. Sometimes what I would do is go down and do like the Manchester stores. Because my work used to have a Manchester office in the call centre, and I used to just say to them, "Can I just do a shift in there on the Monday?"
Yeah.
And so I would do the Comedy Store Gong Show on the Sunday, and then the Frog and Bucket one on the Monday, and try and double up. And but also what I would sometimes do is like if I was doing something like that or doing a spot, Jack Ledo would put me up, and I remember staying at Jack's and hanging about with you.
Yeah.
And we got the wee tram. We used was it you and him, or was it him and his flatmate at the time? Well, like they were on Radio 5 Live one day at what do you call it, Media City? But I remember hanging around about there with yous.
I don't think that was me.
Well, no, but we did a gig at Hot Water together, I think.
Yeah, that's where is that where we first met?
Probably,
yeah.
aye.
And then we got the train back. No, I don't know. Then you were just the Media City. Is that? I did a gig on a tram for a radio, and I don't know if that was that.
No, it's maybe a different thing, but it's
Yeah.
because I think they lived right next to Media
we
City
did.
or something.
Yeah, we did.
But aye, that was because I remember gigging you and like at the time, and I think you often like when I think about like the Manchester sort of circuit versus like the Scottish one, because when you were telling me about you need to go to these like working men's clubs and that type of thing, and see outside of the comedy clubs, particularly when you're starting out in Scotland, it's a lot of like you go to some place 10 miles outside of
club.
a bowling club, a tennis club, that kind
But
of
I
thing.
think they put airs on your chest well quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're actually, it's so funny because I'm gay, right? Like all the industry in London are like, oh my God, you're gay and Northern, how do you do it? Like, it's fine. But like, they're so shocked that like, God, you did like rugby clubs and all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, they're actually fucking pissy. Once you figure out how to do them, they're fucking pissy.
Yeah, but I remember
They are though, like once you figure it out, you're like, this is it. If you want to see me struggle, put me in a posh place. Do you know what I mean? Like, where if you say twat, they all faint and die.
but then it is hard because I remember like when we go to them and like you just by the nature of you being like even just a young person, you're like standing out for most of them, but like to also like coming on and you know like talk about being gay and stuff like that, if a lot of them are like fucking, you know, how God knows what kind of prejudice they have, it must have been harder at first.
Well, I don't know, because I used to always threaten to fight them. So I didn't like. I think for like the first year, loads of gay comics do this when they first start. So like, this isn't like if there's any young gay comics, I don't want you to feel attacked. But every gay comic you would have seen it be like, woo, you know, a bit of flirting with the crowd. I was like, I don't want to fuck any of them. So then and then it's like a year in, I was like, what am I doing? That's not me. And I remember one year just threatening to fight one of them, like a year in, and then it really worked. So I was like, and then for like 2 years, my set was so violent. But I loved it.
Because were you not a boxer or something?
Yeah, when I was a teenager, I boxed for a bit. Yeah.
So you could actually fight them. You could actually.
Not now. I haven't had and I stopped because I got braces, so I couldn't spar anymore. So it's a bit boring when you just sit in the bags.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You want to punch people in the face.
Is that our room service?
I think so.
That's funny.
I was
Room
thinking what the
service?
door was.
Well, not room service. What's the phrase?
Actually,
Like the
cleaning?
Cleaning.
Yeah, hang on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cleaner.
Yeah.
Oh
This is-
my
we're in the
God.
1% now.
Liv.
Double mic.
Imagine like looking in and we're doing a podcast. It's so embarrassing. I'd rather we were all shagging than doing it.
Are you going to keep this in?
I would doubt it, but
This is
who knows?
crazy.
Well, they've been threatening, but my dog was going ape shit last time they came, so I was like, it's not a good time.
Did they?
But Mark obviously wants it to be clean.
He wants it done.
Yeah.
Why don't you clean it yourself?
Well, we
That's
keep on
what I
top
was
of it,
thinking.
but you know, if you got, it's a service, you know, they provide.
How much do you have to pay extra for that?
No, this is a posh place. What's the story, Mark?
I just told he's come back Monday.
Love
I
it.
said-
I wouldn't like someone cleaning up after me.
It's actually you get used to it. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's pretty good.
Do you have to hide all your sex toys and stuff?
yeah. Well, they clean them up actually. I'll leave them out specifically.
it's funny when I were living in London. When obviously because I moved out when I was a teenager, you know. But then when I was living in London, when I was in Manchester, which was all the time because I fucking hated London, I had to stay at my mum's and stuff. And I remember my mum, I had like a jock strap, do you know, the arseless underwear. And my mum was like, "What the fuck is that?" I was like, "Get out my room!" It's so embarrassing.
Was the jock strap for sexual purposes or was it for boxing?
No, it were for yes. Do you know what? I think my bum looks good in it. I don't wear them all the time, but it's more. Do you know when it's good? Where if you've like prepared, but you know you're not going to get bum for a few hours, and you're going out. It's a bit of breeze. Do you know what I mean? So when they get their head,
We
down
can all relate to that.
there, but like
Practical,
when they get their head down there, it's not like moist.
Sweat.
Yeah.
You had such a great bit. See when we done Kilkenny last year in Ireland, you were doing such a great bit. I thought it was hilarious about how straight people do anal without any preparation.
Oh yeah, it's gross. But it's funny because what I find funny is when people describe bumming as dirty, and it's like, no, but we prepared, like there's nothing inside of me. I work on it. Do you know what I mean? But when you straight people, when my straight friends tell me about their time bumming, they just risk it. And that is so crazy to me. Like, you just go for it. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I thought you're supposed to love each other. Insane. Like, this is just insane. I don't understand it. This is my first show where I haven't really got any bumming bits.
Yeah.
I say bumming like twice, but it's hard for me to speak for an hour.
What I liked is you're talking a wee bit about history and stuff like that, which you know you're a big buff of because you done a podcast.
Yeah. Dead drama plug. I love history. It's funny. So I've not really had much PR this year, but I had one, and it was like 3 comedians who love history, and on mine it was like Josh Jones likes history, and then in comma apparently. It's like, I think they think I'm too thick. They hear the accent like, no, he doesn't. He's just in trend right now. Bridgerton's on. So like, but yeah, I do love it. I love it because it's basically the same as reality TV. It's just like
Drama.
Storylines.
Yeah, people shagging and like.
What's your favourite one? Have you got any stories off the top of your head? Your favourite?
I love anything Tudors.
Right.
And my favourite is the story of Lady Jane Grey, but that is depressing because it's about a teenager who got beheaded. But it's thrilling. So yeah, I love it. I love all of it. But yeah, this is the first time I've really spoke about it in a show.
Aye.
It's fun. It's different.
Is that what the whole show's about?
Nah, it's just a bit about that, and then just a lot about me. Yeah,
Why not?
it's kind of just similar. I just do the same sort of shit every year, but it's
He's really underselling himself here, George.
It's good stuff though.
yeah, it's all right. I'm enjoying it. It's just jokes about stuff I like. Come and watch. Yeah.
And so obviously you were starting out, so you started out in Manchester, you do these kind of, you do the working's men's clubs, you do these kind of gigs, and then you just were doing more and more like comedy clubs and all that kind of stuff. And what was it that, what would you say kind of broke you through and helped you get along? Was it like competitions or?
Yeah, I did all the gong shows. I quite liked them. I like doing them.
I could imagine you would smash it at a gong show.
Yeah, I'm quite good at them.
Yeah.
And it was fun because it was like, I think I had a really good group of people who started when I started in Manchester. It was like me, Hannah Platt, Simon Lomas, Jamie Hutchinson, Jack Gledo, Tom Lawrenson. There was more.
Yeah,
there was
good
loads
people.
of us who were, and like, it was like quite a good group. And because all your mates who you're starting to meet in comedy are quite good, you gig more, don't you? Because you want to hang about with them.
Yeah.
It's good to have a good peer group. I remember Simon actually one time when I was doing down the Manchester Comedy Store Gong Show, and they used to do this thing where they would go, right, and does anyone in the audience want to just get up and give it a go? And Simon was like sitting in front row, and he got up, and obviously his whole thing is he looks like a geek, and he's like, it's all one liner, very slow paced, but he's got brilliant jokes, so because he was also coming up for the audience, everyone was
That's like a Susan Boyle moment.
yeah, it literally was, and it was like there was no chance anyone else was winning it. He smashed it. It was brilliant.
But yeah, so did them. I don't know. I think mine's just been gradual, but good. Yeah, like it was. I don't know. I think a lot of people put words in for me and stuff.
Aye.
Like a lot of pro comics would see me, and that helped.
I think the first time I'd seen you was maybe at Glasgow Standing. I think you were supporting Kerry.
Yeah, that
believe
was a
so.
good few years ago.
Yeah.
yeah.
So like, are you getting? Was it like supporting people as well?
Yeah, supporting people, but then like a lot of the headliners of the Manchester circuit would like put a word in for you, and I think I kind of got on with everyone as well. I actually think that was what helps most.
Yeah,
Goes a long way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just not being a dick.
Yeah.
We done the Glee in Nottingham one weekend.
Yeah, that was mental.
Yeah.
Have you told these two that story?
I think maybe.
I
we
think
won't
we've not spoken
name
about
who
it.
we did it with.
Yeah, we can't name.
We can't name them, but they're comics who have been going for like 20 odd years, right? And they obviously hate each other. And like they
Not really narrowing it down, by the way, which is good.
and there was so much drama between them, but it was kind of fine.
The first night was.
I think they've had a few disputes online or whatever, and it was kind of fine or whatever. And then was it like the Saturday night?
Yeah.
And then we were all sat round the table, but the gig were done, and you were sat next to me, and them two were sat on the other side of the table, and we was just having a chat, and then they were chatting, and then it fucking blew off. And I remember going to you, just look at me, just look at me, just look at me, we'll be fine. But yeah, they were like, they fucking popped off. It was crazy. It was the Friday because it was a Saturday night gig, because I remember that right, one of them was MCing, and then he let the other one on and shook their hand, but he literally put your hand out a sec. He literally went. And I went the back. It was so juicy. It was so good. But yeah, they full on fucking blew off in front of it. That's maybe the biggest green room fight I've ever seen.
What kind of stuff were they giving it? What was the?
There was. I don't know if it'll.
Could you say who it was, by then we'll bleep it.
No.
Well, not bleep it, but cut
Well,
it.
don't say, but just
Shall I write
you
it
can
on
say
my
what you're
phone?
about to
Yeah,
say.
write it on your phone.
Aye.
Was there a racial thing in it at one point
There was a load of stuff
from like previous tweets or something?
Yeah,
I'm
like
sure.
something with Facebook, and they. I get on with them both individually. I'm not gonna lie, I had a fucking great time.
Ringside seats.
But it was just.
Because the thing is, as well, even though it's awkward, obviously being in a room, this party, obviously, it's like, this is amazing.
Yeah,
Like, this
yeah,
is
it was.
class.
It was
don't know.
entertaining.
It's something to do with like comics that have been going 20 years longer than us, and Facebook is like a heady combo in it. of,
Yeah.
like,
I don't know how to spell Lee's last name.
It's a F-O.
You know what it is?
when I saw the first name, that's what I thought it'd be. Yeah. Got you.
Right,
Yeah.
I know them both.
Got you.
Yeah.
Mate,
Makes sense.
You can imagine
Yeah,
that was
that's-
a juicy fight. There's like two heavyweight contenders with like strong opinions going at each other, and they've both been in comedy for like 30 years, so they're mental.
Yeah.
Because like that generation just are in the best way. Like,
Yeah,
but,
sure.
like, they-
Sometimes not always.
yeah, but they, but, like, yeah, they fucking popped off.
But they were.
It was sick.
They were
I
going
loved
for
it.
it, but you were saying, you were like, yeah, no, just keep your eyes forward, and then we were both kind of trying to have small talk, but also listen in.
Yeah,
and we
but
went to see like Parasite in the cinema that time. We were like, yeah, Parasite was quite good, wasn't it? And then, like,
Oh yeah, we
listening in.
did.
Don't get anything going, what did you just get up to today, boys? Went to see Parasite. Do you know who's a Parasite? That fucking
Fucking arsehole.
We went to Taco Bell
That's
with
right.
one of them
Yeah.
and left The one who we went Taco Bell with was like, I really want to say the name, but and it was like, we're going to Taco Bell, and then we just went, okay, and followed. It was great. It was so fun.
Do you remember in that hotel the fire alarm went off and
That was because he was smoking weed.
yeah,
in the
from
hotel.
that room I could smell weed coming
Yeah,
from it, and I
yeah,
knew
yeah.
exactly who it was, and then I made
Yeah.
a wee comment like, "Oh, did you have? Was that you that set off the fire alarm?" And she was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" No, it wasn't me. And I was just like, "Oh, just kidding."
It defo was, though.
100%. Yeah, but she was fucking
Not having
raging. No, she wasn't having it.
I'd love to see you fight them.
No contest. I'd get
I was,
Ding, ding, ding.
I were like, just terrified of like they were going at each other. I knew they wasn't going to fight.
No.
It was actually embarrassing because that Glee Club is the only one that when the gig's done, they send you downstairs.
That's right.
Whereas the other ones, you can stay backstage.
Yeah.
Whereas that one, so it was actually, there were still punters in having a drink downstairs.
Jesus, yeah.
So it's like seeing two of the comics like kick off. They would have loved
Oh,
it.
they'd have
Yeah.
loved that as
But
well.
like, it were mental.
That's how I always try and get on with most people, even like because there's obviously people that you've got different views on and politically and all that kind of stuff. But I just go, there's no point in having beefs around it because ultimately you're going to end up gigging with people and all the rest of it, and then it's just dead awkward. Like so,
Yeah.
rather just like you'd rather just for an easier life.
I've got no beef with any comic. There's some who are just do me fucking nutting. I just ignore them.
Just keep it to yourself, don't you?
Like, but yeah, I'm just like, yeah. But
I mean, I've never had a job where there's not been at least 3 people who've done my tits in. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would
Yeah.
comedy be different?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, you just never like because you're on different lineups and you go and do different festivals and this that. You're going to bump into everybody loads. So like there's no point in having these pure rivalries and then something. It just feels like petty as well. Something's like
Also, it's a job, but some people like it's their whole life.
Yeah.
So like they just get so like dramatic. I find it quite amusing. I've like this because this is like my 6th or 7th full run because I did a couple of split shows and compilations at the Fringe.
Yeah.
It's like my 6th one. Being here for the full month, and it's my 3rd hour. And then I'm just like, so now I'm just kind of so chill about it. And I actually was on the phone to my friend yesterday and I was saying, I've just been finding it funny when people are just some people act mentally. There's one, oh God.
Don't say the name.
I'm not going to
Write it
say
on
the
the phone.
name.
Write it on the phone.
I'm not going to say the name. I'm not going to say the name. Just don't clip this up as a clip
Right, okay.
and keep it in the podcast bit. All right. So it's while we've been here, walking down the street with my boyfriend the other day, and they went, they stopped me and shouted me over. So I just went over. I went, "How are you?" And
Is that the tone
And
you
that
did?
tone.
it?
yeah.
How the fuck are you?
I went, "How are you?" And they went, "Yeah, great. Sold out show today. Already had industry in, already had a reviewer in. Look, there's already a sticker on my poster." And then pointed across the road at their poster. I was like, "You're just fucking standing across the road from your own poster so you can have this conversation." Then bumped into them when we was out the other day and they were pissed. And then I went, that first encounter didn't ask me how I was and
Yeah.
didn't.
Well, that's what Phil Ellis is like. Don't you?
I'd love it if it was Phil.
Leaning on his poster in his jacket.
That'd be so funny if it was Phil. But no, but yeah, so then they came, bumped into them that night, and then again I went, "How are you?" They went, just done a gig. Aziz Ad was in the audience, and I can't remember what country he said, but some prince. Yeah, that's what it said. I were doing this gig. Aziz Ad was in the audience. 5 stars. And then I just went, oh. And then later on, I saw them when they was pissed, and they went, "Oh, I love you." And I was like, "You've not even asked me anything about myself. You don't know one thing about me."
You're such a good listener, Josh.
Put it on the phone. Who is it? I want to know who it is.
Right, this is bad. This is bad audio here, right?
I love gossip.
I would say though, it's like it is kind of like 'cause I suppose the etiquette is right.
All right, yeah.
When you're having a
course.
good,
This is
like,
my favourite episode ever. I like the game show element of it.
I wonder how many names is going to be on this list.
It's intolerable to listen to, but I'm having a great time.
the if you want to know the name, sign up to the
The
Patreon.
thing is, they'll never find out because they're so fucking self-involved anyway. You don't know what anyone else is doing.
This is true, and also they're not going to be the only ones that are guilty of these types of
Yeah, it's
behaviours.
but when people just, I've had it a few times where I've been here the last week. I'm like, how are you? They're like, don't answer how they are. They're like, my show. I'm like, I'm not asking. I don't give a fuck about your fucking job. But I was talking. We were with Dan Tiernan the other night, and
Yes.
Dan knows me really well, and he was laughing because he was like, the one person who doesn't give a fuck about anyone's accolades is you. Like, I just don't give a shit. When I ask how you are, I want to know how you are. Are you eating well? Like, are you looking after yourself? Like, I don't give a fuck about your hour show. I don't care. And it's just, and that's what I find hard being here, because sometimes I just want to be like, fuck off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I know.
totally.
But I think that's like goes back to what you're saying about people, like they get involved, it becomes a whole life, and how their show is how they are.
Fuck it, they're like comedy cokeheads. They're just like, but like the coke is comedy, and they're just like, fucking love it. Like reading the reviews and just like it's just mental to me.
Sickness, isn't it? Yeah,
Do
it's
you
mad.
read your own reviews during the
No,
Fringe?
I've not even
Probably
read any.
fucking writes them.
I've not. I've not read any from last year, so
don't read
I've
them,
not
no.
read any.
Even if it's
I
you know
read.
it's good or whatever.
So on my first hour, so 2 years ago, I read the first 2 reviews that came out, and then stopped reading them because one of them, it was a 4-star, but it said Josh Jones seems intelligent despite his thick working class northern accent.
Fuck's
And
sake.
then I was like, I'm not reading any more of these. So I
Fucking
just, but it was because I was speaking about my accent in the show a bit, and then I mentioned my intelligence in the show, but I didn't put those two together,
No.
so I don't know why they
Yeah,
did.
they're telling on themselves.
So
not
then,
the person.
and then when I got back, I read them all in one go in September.
Right.
And then last year, I didn't read any, and I've still not. But I didn't read them just because none of my reviews really commented on my joke writing or my jokes. It was all about me being gay and northern, and I just felt that was quite boring.
And see if it was commenting on your jokes, say, would that make a difference to you? Would you change anything in your show?
If they
or would you-
no, but if they wrote it sounds quite cocky, but I'm a decent joke writer, so I do wish they did, but they don't. They're all like, they spend half an hour speaking, like half the thing just talking about my voice, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
they're supposed to be professional writers.
Yeah.
I know.
So it's just a bit like, for me, it's a bit boring. But I don't know. The last years could have been really good. I've not read them. You know, when you got a good one, you get tagged in it off your agent. But
Yeah.
apart from that, like, I've not. I don't want to upset any reviewers, but I don't understand why they're here.
Really?
Like, I don't understand how that's a job, and I've that.
Well, it's not really, is it? It's
But
not.
he like pays their bills. That's crazy.
There can't be that many of them that's true for.
No, I think it's maybe
yeah.
well, there's maybe one, and then there's
Maybe
like a
this
few of
month.
the papers. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
a lot of them, it's just like with the classics, like all these kind of like less reputable ones. It's all like just random students that have never
Yeah.
fucking wrote anything in their
I
life.
would rather just put, like, the public, just everyone who watch our Edinburgh shows just did like an IMDb number, or everyone just give it a
Letterboxd.
rating, and then
Yeah.
it's like, if it's above a 6, I'll probably go watch it. Do you know what I mean?
100%, like an Uber rating.
Yeah, something like that. That'd be better.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it's an interesting one, isn't it? Like, because I feel sometimes if it's valid constructive criticism, but like you say, and like a lot of the times what they're valuing you on, particularly during the Fringe, is it's all about, you know, your persona kind of thing, isn't it? It's about where you're from, and like obviously you're saying about like the northern thing, like we get a lot, you know, Scottish as well, and you do get kind of pigeonholed a wee bit, and you're like, for people that are meant to be professionals in the industry and stuff like that, you're a bit like, well, does nobody actually care about the jokes that much?
Yeah.
And you realise sometimes a lot of the artifice that goes into it, it's like, oh, I thought this was about being funny and material and stuff, and then you realise, well, there's a lot more to it than
Do
that.
you use I'll read yours?
I don't like it, but to like a couple of close friends, I'll be like, I think I had a review, and so if you can like let me know if it's 4 or above, because then I can put it on my post or whatever.
Yeah,
but I'm not
yeah.
interested in actually reading them.
No.
Yeah, I've read them if they're like if it's 4 and above usually, but I probably after the Fringe I probably wouldn't do it during, because then you don't need that extra stress, do you?
As well, I'm dyslexic. Like, if I'm gonna read it, it has to be like it's got to have like dragons in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be something worth it.
Is that why you like history so much? So much?
Yeah, the dragons.
Dragons.
That's all the real dragons.
Let me ask you this, Josh. How does having dyslexia affect your like writing and stuff like that? Does that, or do you do more on stage, or how does that? How does it work?
No, it's fine. I think I'm an alright reader. I actually have a joke about it in this show. I think I'm an alright reader. I just don't think I'm that good. I think dyslexic people could still be really good readers if they put a lot of effort in that I've never been willing to do. So, I'm not that good of a reader, but I still read and write and shit. But yeah, I think it's good because my jokes aren't too clever. No, like my jokes aren't too
They're not like
wordy.
wordy.
Yeah.
Like it's just like to the point. Just get it on, get it done.
Would you work out your jokes on stage as well, or would you?
Yeah,
like-
so I do both. I'll write a little bit, but I think I write a lot on stage. Yeah, I do a bit of everything. I haven't got a good system. I like to walk around my room with a deodorant can and do a gig to myself.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That's great. I bet more people do that. I feel like I should do that more than I do actually, and I think
do
it
that
always
sometimes.
helps.
Yeah, I do that, and I don't hold the deodorant can. I just do that with my hand.
Do you know what? It has to be right guard because it feels like the most microphone one. And sometimes I'll do it with shaving foam. I'm like, this is too thick. And I can't get in the zone.
Sometimes what I've done is like, because obviously these are my mics and I've got them in the house, and I just sometimes I just do this. But because see if you just do it without the cord, it feels too short. So sometimes I need to put a cord in. I put it in my pocket.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's good when you're trying out new stories to just like deodorant can it. It's quite fun. Do you know what I do though? Sometimes I'll put a timer on my phone. And I'll open with an old joke to myself in my room,
just to build rapport.
like a gig, like I get in the gig rhythm, and then so I'll do like 3 minutes of old, and then I've got to like fill the other 22 minutes with
Once you've warmed them up.
Yeah. So like get in the mood, and then I'm like, right, I'm in gigging mood, and then I go into like new bits.
Right, and
That's
what,
amazing.
do you record it and you listen back? Or
Nah,
anything?
but if it's really funny, I just keep repeating the same sentence in my head.
Yeah.
And then I keep saying it out loud, and then I'll go and do it at a gig.
That's good.
Is that a way? I don't know.
No, I
if
think that's
weird, though.
a really smart way of doing it actually, because see when you sit doing with a pad and paper, which I do try and do quite a lot, but sometimes I go, I think it's more efficient, and sometimes you find you come up with more jokes when you're like rehearsing or sometimes talking it through in like the car or in the house or whatever, because it's like, I feel like it's a different part of your brain you use because you're speaking, whereas when you're writing
Yeah.
it's just
I go to the library, and that's where I get all my setups. So I'll like think about what I want to do, and I'll just do a spider diagram. And then was this really boring?
no, this is
Like I do like a spider diagram, and then I'll be like, so I've got a bit in this show about Manchester's involvement in the slave trade, which is funnier than it's. But then I was like, right, so this is an actual like bit, historical bit. So there's things you want to get. So then I was like, right, I definitely need a joke about that, and that. So it's like you find your little bits, and then when I'll go home and I'll start talking about it and think of the jokes. But I'll sometimes just write setups and then just riff about 12 different punchlines.
yeah.
Do you live with people, or are you on your own? Or?
Yeah, I live with someone.
I just love the idea of them peeking in the room. You got a deodorant can, you're talking about the slave trade. Just
because he's my friend, but he's just got a normal job, right? And he sometimes has heard me do self tapes, and that's so.
That's really embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah, especially because all the ones I get when it's a gay guy, it's like, "Hey, girl," I'm like, I don't speak like that, but it's like, "Yes, sis." I'm like, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. It's horrible, but yeah. So like, some of the stuff he's heard me do is
Do you think is it almost more self-conscious when it's your own material? Look, it's at least with the self-tape, you go, "Oh, well,
Who
it's
wrote
some
this
fucking
shit?"
Yeah.
But I met him through right. This when I told comics this was crazy. So they all thought it was crazy, but it's worked out really well. So when I we're moving back to Manchester, I just put on my Instagram, has anyone got a spare room in the city centre? Because I wanted to live in the city centre. And then loads of people got back to me, and this guy did, and his flat was great. But he'd like seen me before and been to live shows, and everyone was like, "You can't live with like a fan."
could kill you.
And I was like, "Well, I'm gonna go and meet him because the flat looks good, and it's funny, innit? Like if he like tries to kill you, a bit of a joke."
Get a show out of it.
And I got there, and he did not seem asked about my career at all. I thought he was supposed to be a fan, but then so I've been living there like a year now, and him and his boyfriend like come like to my best mates now, and they're just really normal. But and he doesn't seem that ass. But it's funny because obviously I know they like my comedy because they've been and seen me live a few times before I even were living with them. But now I was doing a bit. I had to. Do you know when you do? I was doing a telly bit, so I had to give them the material before. I know I was. It was for when I was in Melbourne. I was doing that gala thing, so I had to send them a material. And I was like, "Oh, I might do me Goose story," and he went, "Not that one." He's like, after a while, he's become a bit critical.
If you get into say to criticise me, just wait till after the Fringe. So
Yeah, he's not seen this show yet. I don't think my ego could take it. No, but yeah, it's actually worked out really nice.
Great. And obviously you mentioned you'd moved to London for a bit. How did you find going down there, and how did you find doing comedy down there as opposed to being in Manchester?
It was all right. It was. I don't know. I don't really like it. I don't like the. Oh God, I feel like this could upset a lot of people. I don't like the
Industry.
yeah. It's not even the industry really.
The London circuit.
Yeah, the London circuit, because they're so obsessed with the industry. Whereas it's like in Manchester, building up to get this new show ready, none of me local comedy mates we wasn't really talking about the Fringe or whatever. And like in it's hard to say without saying people's names, but
Get their phone out loud.
I'll write one name.
We'll put the names in the show notes.
Kind of credits rolling at the end of this.
I think you're going to laugh at the spelling because I defo got it wrong.
Right,
but
good.
like in London, everyone's like slagging off this person, or like, "Oh, how well they're doing," or "How well they're doing." But in Manchester, no one's ever heard of them. Do you know what I mean?
It's not travelled
But
200
yeah,
miles.
it's like, I think but like in Manchester, people are valued on how well they can smash a gig, and it's not like who's got this. I think in London it's very industry chat, so it's been so refreshing this year. Building up my show, it's been so chill. Whereas like everybody in London speaks about next year's Edinburgh in October.
Like you're going to war. The way
Yeah,
you
and
talk
it's
about
like they're just like, "Oh," it's all they talk about, and they're just like, "Ugh," and it's just like, chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
I'm not asked, but they're lovely people.
Yeah.
But I just think because it's in London, it's so industry based.
it's crazy.
People speak more about what you're doing than I like. If I speak to a comic, I like to speak about their bits or their routines, and that's rather than what they're doing or what's like going on.
Yeah.
I think that's just boring.
And I do think there is a sort of pride that you take in being able to smash a room as well. That like because almost like a lot is about survival as well when you're coming up on like a circuit,
Yeah.
like in North or in Scotland or whatever, and you want to be able to smash that, and that's what you pride yourself on. And then sometimes I get annoyed if I've done like a show that's a bit more fringy and that, and then I come out it and I'm like, well, I've not got any new bits that I could put into a set, and I'm not, got a strong. I always want to come out of stuff as like a stronger comic that has better bits all the time. Do you know what I
Well,
mean?
my audience are all gays and women, and like it's
You had a
just-
great line about this in the show, by the
but
way.
it's like gigging in a it's just the mental like they're like woo, but it's like gigging in a club, but like on like just one hen do, just like so it's like I can't go in there with a Fringe show on tour and just do some sad shit because like they want big jokes, which
Yeah.
is what we should.
It's what most people
It's
want
what
to
we
do.
should be doing.
Yeah. Do you have any interest in doing a show that has like a sad bit in it or anything? Or are you like, I don't have any interest at all?
No.
Anyway? No.
I have to-
Apart from that woman that got beheaded.
Yeah, I did have a joke about that, but it was too long-winded, so I got rid of it. But I
Fascinated by what your take on the slave trade is now. I'm hearing.
it's good though.
It's good. It's very
a
good.
good slave trade bit.
It's very good.
It's about Manchester's involvement. You should. It's,
No, I'm sure it is.
It's
I'm
my
like,
favourite joke. Maybe one of my favourites I've ever written.
Yeah.
They've like a full routine. It's long, but it's good. Anyway, what was you saying?
Just like, have you had interest in doing that? Because I know your audience are expecting you to do like just punchline, but is there any party that's like, oh, I'd like to do a wee more theatre?
I'd do a play. I'd love to do a play. I'd love to do a bit of acting, but I think when it's stand up, it should be.
Would you write the play?
Stand up, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to like do other stuff, but when it comes to stand up, it should just, in my opinion, is just stand up. I do like watching some of those other shows.
me too.
Like, I just wish there wasn't as many of them.
Yeah.
Because they're not. It's not as interesting when every other show is just like that. But
Yeah, because it feels like it should be judged differently, though. I think it's like
Funniest. We've said this.
Well, who was it
Funniest
was
show.
Dan
in
we
it.
were chatting to Dan Tiernan was
Dan Tiernan,
Aye.
yeah. He was saying about in Australia, it's like the different awards, and there's like one for like the actual funniest show, and then there's the.
oh yeah,
best
because we
show.
went to the show. There were loads of awards.
Yeah.
We went to the award show. Me and Dan went and watched it. It seems, but that festival was just nicer in terms of everyone's. Wasn't really competitive.
Yeah.
Didn't feel like that anyway. It felt like everybody was getting on. It was like really nice. Whereas this is, it's just, it is what you make of it. Now this year I'm chilling, so I'm not really getting involved in the drama, and it's so much nicer being at Monkey Barrel.
Yeah.
because that feels like all the comics are. I feel like comics you get at a gig.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Whereas like when we're at
I think everyone's just happy to be there as well. Do you know what I mean?
And
Like,
when I was at
everyone's-
the Pleasance, that's where people are talking about reviews and stuff. We was out the other night, apart from that fucking knobhead coming up to me talking about themselves all the time. No one
Yeah, if you've been listening along, he's just written down Phil Ellis like 10 times and then notes up on his phone.
I love Phil.
we all love Phil. Of course.
But yeah, like no one was talking about anything.
Nah.
Like just really,
The
cracking
Pleasance
on.
Courtyard is London, isn't it? It's like that
It
to
is-
me. That is London.
That
like.
is,
Aye.
it's that sort of thing, and it's just like, and it's nothing against the comedians of people, but I think because they're just they rile each other up talking about awards and all that sort of shit. It's like how many shows eligible for these awards? Like 700-800 shows.
Yeah.
And you're going to cry because you're not in the 7 picked. Are you fucking insane? That's mental. Like, crack on with your life.
Yeah.
Like, I just kind of feel like that was really angry and negative.
Not to be
Should've
like
watched
one
out,
of these
man.
people, Josh, but one question I was interested in is like, see when you did move to London, did you feel like you were getting more opportunities and telly stuff, or was it a bit easier, or would you say that these days it's not as big a deal?
I don't know, because I moved down. I'd already done telly.
Aye.
I'd already done I did 8 out of 10 cats. That was my first telly thing.
How did you find that? Was it the countdown one?
No, the normal one. I
How
was
was
on like
that?
the last season. Yeah, it was good. It was filmed like 3 weeks before COVID, so that was lucky. But yeah, it was fucking mental because I don't. What year was that? 2019. I'd only been going like 4 years, and I hadn't done an hour yet. So I got that just from doing the circuit and
great.
stuff. And I can't really remember it, really, because I went in a bit of a daze. But I don't remember any telly that I do. I remember the stuff that is as important. But like when it feels like a big deal, like I've just done. Couldn't tell you anything that I said.
Oh,
Oh,
brilliant.
really?
Yeah.
That's
'Cause
my
when-
favourite show, by the way. I
When
love
it
that show.
feels like a thing.
Yeah.
I don't. Am I allowed to say I've done that? I don't know.
Probably
find
should
out.
check.
Can
This
you
is-
bleep it out?
Yeah, we can say
yeah,
that
just
out.
bleep what I said out. But yeah,
Let me double check
Write
and
it
make
down.
sure you can say that after.
yeah, but I that because that is like something that feels like an actual thing.
Yeah.
So
That's a
then
huge
you,
show, yeah.
you don't know
It's a
how
great show.
you do on it.
I know.
But yeah, when I moved, so I don't know if I would have got any more or any less if I didn't move there.
Aye.
It probably helped. Do you know what? It did help because I did a load of run-throughs and that's how I got a bit of stuff.
And did you think that gives you good experience when you're kind of trying out for these shows to just get comfortable, like being, you know, on like a panel
Well,
show
yeah,
or something
because
like
you're
that?
doing a panel show in a boardroom to like 15 executives or whatever. So it's like the real thing can't be harder than that.
Yeah.
So it's all right.
I bet you're missing rugby clubs when you're sat in that room.
Yeah, but do you know
You
what? They're all-
can't, you can't tell them you're going to fight them.
they're all right though. They're quite good. I think I figured out how to do them.
What would that be?
Me, I don't like. I just speak when I think of something funny.
That's what they put in your head the most of the circuit.
But a lot of people just speak to get loads out there.
Yeah.
So I might not be the one who speaks the most, but I'll say something that works.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of just have it. I just try and like just be chill. And it goes quite well.
Will they always kind of come to you eventually, or do you have
Yeah.
to?
No, you
get
jump in now and then when you think of something. But there's some people who, you know, and especially in run
Get
through-
the fucking notes.
Good. in run throughs. Actually, this is a good example. Because shall I explain what a run through is? If people
Yeah,
are
yeah, sure.
interested?
Sure, yeah.
So they do practice shows. Like sometimes it's for shows that haven't been made yet. So they'll get some comedians in, and it's like give them like £100 to do it or whatever, and they can. So they can see their new games, and then there's also ones where it's established shows, but they're auditioning people who haven't done it before. So when I did the 8 out of 10 Cats one, it was one of the head producers were like playing Jimmy Carr, and then
They're doing a laugh.
and then me and the other 5 people was everyone auditioning for that newcomer spot. So as you can imagine, it was fucking chaos. But we were quite lucky because the day before, apparently there was all just shouting over each other and no one could get nothing in. That the producers rang us and told us be quite chill. So then when I got there, I was like, I'm only going to speak if I think of something funny. And then that's how But some people, they're just like, you've got something for everything.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, I got something when I've got something. Yeah.
How much of it do you prepare going in, or is it just kind of more off the cuff?
Loads. But it's like you've done the, you do the
Yeah, we've all done breaking the news. This
Yeah,
is one in Scotland.
that's
aye.
it's exactly the same though.
Yeah.
But it feels like for breaking the news, it's like they go to you. It's
pretty regimented.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
they
is
go
it?
around that and they ask everybody for their answer. But with that, you're competing with like fucking John Richardson or whatever.
Well, that's it. The hardest thing is when you're on that is you're the least famous one. So the audience give you not as much grace. So you really do feel like you have to
work.
come out with something good straight away. So you have to just kind of whatever you know the first bit is, it has to have the strength of an opening set.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Getting to know you for the first time.
Yeah.
Good thing you practiced that first 3 minutes and you're fucking.
In with everything. But I love it. I love doing. I love like Because a load of comics slag off telly, but I like it.
Yeah.
Like, you get picked up in a car. You get, like, free Diet Coke all day. It's great.
You're also such like a likable personality as well, Josh, that I think you just like, you know, you lend yourself well to that type of thing, and like you're sort of person because like they always say it's like you should be like a distinguishable archetype, and like if you're on something's like quite, I think people tune into like, oh, like I know who this guy is quite early on, and I'm not just saying northern and gay. I mean, but
It's nice though, because a lot of people like, because you get loads of comics who say like telly's dead or whatever, but it's still people from my tours are still like people from telly who don't have Instagram and stuff. So it's nice because it balances out. I don't want to call them all old, but it balances out your age range is quite nice. So you've got like, I get a lot of people my mum's age come in, and I fucking love that. I think it's so more fun.
aye, it's nice that. 'Cause I always remember reading in Steve Martin's book, and he was saying he was playing to an older crowd, and he was like, "Oh no, I'm going to die Marston," and he went out and he realised that he was reminding them all of their kids.
Yeah.
And there's a nice thing about that as well. And also, like, isn't it like, I think sometimes we're too quick to judge audiences because you're like, oh, just because people are like, you know what I mean, they've lived a life, they were young, they can relate to it all, and they want to feel cool by going to the young new hip guy in town.
Yeah,
I've been getting a bit of that at the bucket this year. Like slightly older people invite. It's just like listening to like my daughter and her boyfriend or whatever. And you're like, oh, great, you know.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It's nice. Yeah, it's good.
Aye. No, that's quite good, and it might helps them understand.
There was a couple of old guys right in front of me when I was watching you yesterday, and the bit that I laughed at the most was the love eggs.
Yeah, it's a dirty
Dirty old bastards.
Bit of blue foot lads.
He was with
What
his
time
wife though.
it-
She was
Yeah.
like,
What time
Sex
are you
positive.
on at?
7:10.
Oh, nice. I can make that.
Yeah,
And
well,
it's
you'd be very
Monk's
welcome. Sorry?
Monk.
Yeah, MB2. Yeah.
We are still
Oh,
recording,
that's a
Josh.
lovely room.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
We are,
I'd love
we
to
are
have you,
still
Josh.
recording.
Oh yes, Sarah.
It's nice to get you on here to plug my Fringe show. That's good, man.
It will probably be done by the time.
That's it.
So you're back up the road, Manchester. And what I liked about your show as well is that you were talking a wee bit about like taking more time for yourself and like to actually just live life and have a nice time rather than just be constantly focused on the career and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Which I think is something that we could all take a leaf out of
Yeah,
that
a lot
book.
of this show's about how I'm not that asked about comedy. I like it. I do like it, but I see it as a job now.
Yeah.
That, like, I do, like, I still get a buzz off going on stage, but I'm not up all night. Like, I could come off stage, smash a gig, and have a nap 5 minutes later. I think I have a healthy like approach to it. So now I'm having a weekend off a month, and I'm just not.
Quite right.
Yeah, I'm not like traveling as much because the last 10 years been fucking mental. Like the first few years are the hardest because you're sleeping on a megabus, and then you just like fucking. I was sharing a room with that not bed. Well, she was a lovely person. I don't know why I called her a not bed, but like sharing a room because I couldn't afford a bed, and then you just like I want a life.
Yeah, you deserve a bed
life.
now.
Yeah,
exactly.
So a lot of this show is about just like chilling out, having a good time.
And you were telling me that you've taken up a new hobby of late.
Oh, rock climbing,
Yes.
bouldering.
Oh, really?
I'm really getting quite good at it. I can only hold strength. Yeah, it's quite good. Yeah, it's great. Have you ever been?
Is that one of those ones where it's in like kind of a warehouse in an industrial estate kind of thing?
Aye, there's one at Escape.
I've been on that one.
Near us,
yeah.
have you?
Yeah, yeah.
I
You getting
go-
chalk on the fingers and everything?
Yeah, I got my chalk and my shoes and everything with me here.
Nice.
I've not been though while I've been here. I'm actually planning on going today after this. Yeah, I've not been because it's like first week of the Fringe. I've just been. Like, I've done half a seat like 4 times. I'm like, I'm
You
bored
climb
of
up the
it.
face of it.
Yeah. Well, I went with. Do you know the comedian Jenny Hart?
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
Jenny.
so me and Jenny took her up half a seat, and then we've just thought, fuck it, let's not go down the path. And we walked out like this Bushes way, which was like the worst way. It took us ages. We're like, we're going to die, right? And then we came to a bit, and we thought it was near the end, but obviously it's not like a proper path. So we had to boulder down a wall. Not like super high, but about as high as that ceiling. Like too high to
Higher than I would
jump.
like, yeah.
And because she goes bouldering with me, it was like, we've trained for this for a year. This is the first time we've used our skills, like not where these crash mats. It was great.
I've never been up Arthur's Seat.
You've not?
Never.
I'm not certain if I've been up either.
No, do you want to do it?
Yeah, let's do the show.
I know an all right way that just gets you up and
No
Do
nonsense.
you? The thing is, right? Because people say there's the real after seat, and then there's just the hill there. And I've been up that loads of times, and I would say that's after seat. But then there's like no, there's a kind of steeper hill next there.
Yeah.
What one are you going up?
the highest bit.
Oh yeah. I haven't ever been up that. To be
The
fair.
big bit where all the people are getting the photos with that little white podium.
Aye, but there's a bit loads of people get the photos. It's like because there's the rock.
There is
that's
two
kinda like
different
that.
bits, isn't there?
Yeah,
And then
it
there's a
like
bit behind
breaks
it.
off,
Yeah.
and then there's the like sharp bit on the
Yeah,
side. Yeah, I've done that bit as well. I've done all. Yeah.
And what do you like so much about bouldering? If anyone wants to get into it, what's the appeal?
I kind of like. I think. I kind of think it's replaced like my thrill that you get when you first start gigging. Because I just get a bit excited for gigs, but like a lot of times I'm just like pretty chill about it. Whereas with climbing, you're like, if I fall, I'm gonna break an arm. Like it's like risk.
You like
Do you
that?
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
like this is quite exciting, and also like I can. There's some walls that go out. You go up and go out like this ceiling, and if the boulder's big enough, I can fucking Spider-Man across. Like, I'm getting quite like strong and stuff. So yeah, and it's the first time I've been able to just do loads of pull-ups. And
Really?
I've never like not been practicing. It's just from climbing.
Well,
So it's just like the upper body strength from going
Yeah.
from one to the next.
Yeah,
great.
it does everything apart from your belly. So you're just like walking about. It does your belly a bit, but like not as much. So my belly and my tits could do a bit tightening up, but like everything else is all right.
Well, that's the first thing I noticed when you walked on stage the other night is I was like, oh, Josh's biceps are looking pretty.
in the
you know,
gym.
he's
Yeah, and
looking
it's
pretty
not
good.
from the gym. It's just from climbing. It's really fun.
Nice.
Well,
Do it. Thanks for is it us?
I feel like I'm going to say how long. Aye, we've actually bang on an hour again. That's
Fantastic.
we're getting good at this.
Thank you so much, Josh.
Thank you.
Let's plug. Is there? Let's be.
That's one about
You might be going on
pulling
tour
out
though,
the
right?
phones.
Are you going on tour with the show?
I don't know. We don't know yet.
Okay.
Because I've just finished a tour. We don't know if I'm just going to record this once and put it out and then write a new tour, which just seems like a lot of work. But I feel like I might do that. So I don't know what I'm doing over the next couple of months. I'm trying to, just get an house. If anyone's got any houses going.
But that worked the last. That worked the last time. you know.
so, yeah.
If you're a fan of Josh's, but not that arsed about his career, like his current
He's got
flatmate.
a 2-bed Tudor mop to sell, then I'll take it. But no, I've to be honest, I don't think I'm going on tour for another 12 months. So I actually have no idea why I'm here.
Where can people find you online?
Oh yeah, on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah,
And
keep your eyes peeled.
podcast as well.
Oh, Dead Drama. Yeah, I've got stuff to plug.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff going on.
Well, you can go back and watch you on 8 out of 10. Does
Yeah,
count
and
down.
you'll see him on an episode of an unnamed telly show very soon.
Oh yeah, I'll send you a message to block that out.
Right,
Because I don't think I can say.
That's fine.
So we could have
will
beeped
bleep it.
all the names.
We could have
as
done all
well.
the names. Let's just read out the names at the end. For those
Oh,
playing
listen,
along.
only in the gig we had
Oh, right. Well, that's a good place to end it. And stop rolling and actually talk about that. But thank you so much for joining us, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
Do follow him
Thank you.
online. We'll
Yeah.
put all the links in the description as ever. And before we go, please do remember like and subscribe. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And you can follow us at SomeLaughPod on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And send any questions to the email address, which is somelaughpod@gmail.com. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. We'll speak to you very soon.
Cheers, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Josh. That was great.